In the vast tapestry of human history, there are tales that defy explanation, events that challenge our understanding of the world around us. Some dismiss them as mere fabrications, while others, having experienced the inexplicable, become believers. The story you are about to delve into is one such tale. Rooted in the very real backdrop of the Great Depression, it weaves a narrative that intertwines the tangible with the ethereal, the known with the unknown. Throughout history, there have been whispers of individuals possessing abilities that transcend the ordinary, psychic phenomena, inexplicable events, and entities that dwell just beyond the veil of our perception. While science often seeks to debunk these claims, there remains a vast realm of the unexplained. Stories passed down through generations that challenge our understanding of reality. As you journey through the streets of New York City during one of its darkest periods, I urge you to keep an open mind. The events described may seem fantastical, perhaps even implausible. But remember, in a world filled with mysteries, there are occurrences that defy logic and understanding. Just as some believe in the power of psychic influence and the existence of entities beyond our comprehension, consider the possibility that this tale, while rooted in fiction, may bear semblances to truths that some have experienced. So, dear listener, as you immerse yourself in the haunting tale of Damian Winters and the malevolent force that ensnared him, allow yourself to ponder the boundaries of reality. For in the realm of the paranormal, the line between fact and fiction is often blurred, and the inexplicable becomes eerily plausible. The Great Depression had draped New York City in a shroud of gloom. Streets that once buzzed with life now echoed with the hollow footsteps of jobless men, their faces a canvas of despair. Children, their innocence stolen by hunger, roamed in tattered clothes, their eyes hungry for both food and kindness. Skyscrapers, once symbols of prosperity, now stood as mournful giants, overshadowing the city's pain. A palpable air of desolation hung heavy, replacing the city's once vibrant pulse with a somber, unyielding rhythm. The Depression had taken more than jobs and wealth. It had drained the city's very soul. In the midst of downtrodden souls, Damian Winters trudged on, each step echoing the burdens he bore. At just mid-30s, his face bore the premature marks of life's trials, each line telling a story of dreams deferred. The spark that once lit his eyes, hinting at a future full of potential, had dimmed to a weary glint. The tailored suits of his brighter days were now replaced by frayed clothes that seemed a size too big. Day in, day out, he navigated the maze of the city, moving from one fleeting job to the next, a forgotten man in a city drowning in its own sorrows. Yet hidden beneath his worn facade, a tempest of regrets and haunting memories stirred, ever on the brink of breaking free. As darkness enveloped the city, Damian retreated to his humble apartment, its worn interiors a testament to years of neglect. The groaning floorboards and faded wallpaper served as stark reminders of better days long gone. Drained from the day's struggles, he sank into his bed, sleep claiming him swiftly. But the night was far from peaceful. An unsettling energy stirred, casting elongated shadows that seemed to gravitate towards Damian. An ancient, malevolent force whispered sinister promises, its voice dripping with both menace and allure. Throughout the night, it insidiously entwined itself with Damian's subconscious, distorting his dreams into grotesque nightmares. By the first light of dawn, it had ensnared Damian completely, sealing a dark pact and foreshadowing the calamity awaiting the city. The night in question dawned with an imposing presence, the city's typical hustle silenced by an eerie calm. Under the malevolent entity's thrall, Damian moved with a deliberate intent, his every action orchestrated by the unseen force. Drawn to a shadowed alley, he encountered a stranger, their destinies tragically linked by the dark puppeteer controlling Damian. Succumbing to the entity's malefic influence, Damian committed an unspeakable act, marking his soul indelibly. As dawn's first light pierced the horizon, The aftermath of his deed lay bare. Overwhelmed by remorse and terror, Damian fled, his actions a grim testament to the dark power dominating him. The city awoke to chilling news of the heinous act, with newspapers painting a graphic tableau that sent shivers down spines. New York, no stranger to tragedies during the Depression, found itself paralyzed by a fresh wave of dread. As clues converged, all trails led to Damian. The man once held in esteem now stood accused of a crime that rocked the city's foundations. The police swiftly captured him, and the enormity of his actions, coupled with the sinister force driving him, weighed heavily. His arrest was met with a mix of disbelief and scorn from those who once held him in high regard. The subsequent trial was but a formality, culminating in Damian's conviction and casting a longer shadow over his already tarnished legacy. Damian's initiation into solitary confinement felt like a plunge into an icy void. His cell, a bleak fusion of stone and metal, magnified his sense of desolation. A feeble bulb, the sole source of light, cast restless shadows that seemed to mock him. The stifling silence, occasionally broken by faint whispers from other prisoners and the irregular drip of water, enveloped the space. Lying on the unforgiving cot, Damian grappled with the enormity of his deeds and the suffocating presence of the dark entity. The shadows whispered accusations, juxtaposing his current state with memories of brighter days. Reality and hallucination melded, ensnaring Damian in a vortex of remorse, dread, and anguish. The cell's tangible darkness mirrored the abyss in his soul, making the night interminable. With each passing day and restless night, Damian's dreamscape grew more treacherous. The malevolent force, now a constant spectre, painted his slumbers with vivid nightmares. He wandered through a distorted New York, its skyscrapers stretching impossibly high, casting shadows under an ever-crimson sky. The entity, now taking a more tangible form with piercing green eyes, lurked around every bend, its mocking laughter a chilling soundtrack to Damian's torment. It relentlessly replayed his crime, magnifying every gruesome detail, savoring his despair. Each nocturnal confrontation left Damian frayed, the entity's insidious murmurs chipping away at his already fragile psyche. The entity's torment bled into Damian's waking hours, blurring the lines between dream and reality. The once composed man had become a mere husk of his former self. His eyes, previously keen, now darted frantically, seemingly tracking unseen specters. Sudden movements and whispered dialogues with invisible entities became his norm. Even his speech, though garbled, resonated with raw desperation. Onlookers, both guards and inmates, oscillated between sympathy and dread as they witnessed Damian's reactions to phantom menaces or his attempts to touch ethereal visions. Damian's metamorphosis was stark. He was ensnared in a realm where reality and delusion were indistinguishable. Amidst his descent into madness, Damian tapped into a symphony of thoughts, not his own, but those of New York's denizens. During the night's vulnerable hours, as the city's populace succumbed to sleep or fatigue, Damian's newfound psychic abilities reached out, ensnaring fleeting thoughts and emotions. Those ensnared by his mental grasp awoke disturbed, their dreams invaded by ominous visions and murmurs. As this phenomenon persisted, the city's atmosphere grew tense. Individuals robbed of restful sleep began behaving erratically, seemingly propelled by an unseen hand. Unbeknownst to him, Damian, confined to his cell, had become an unwitting maestro, orchestrating the city's nocturnal psyche, even as he grappled with his own overwhelming mental turmoil. Amidst the backdrop of the Depression's grip, New York City was ensnared by a fresh wave of terror. A string of unsettling crimes emerged, eerily echoing Damian's malevolent act. In the Lower East Side, a shopkeeper's lifeless form mirrored the savagery of Damian's transgression. Shortly after, Harlem was abuzz with the mysterious disappearance of a young woman, her eventual discovery chilling even seasoned investigators. Newspapers, typically filled with tales of economic woes, now headlined these grim events. Hushed conversations permeated subway stations and sidewalks as citizens drew chilling connections between the recent atrocities and Damian's dark legacy. The city, once pulsating with life, now tread cautiously, overshadowed by the ghosts of its recent past. New York's law enforcement, already strained by the Depression's challenges, confronted an enigma that eluded comprehension. As investigations deepened, a sinister thread connected the crimes, not just in execution, but also in a pervasive, dark ambience. Sifting through evidence and cross-examining witnesses, detectives were inexorably drawn back to Damian Winters. Murmurs of Damian's mysterious influence from his prison cell grew rampant within the precinct. Expert psychologists were summoned, hoping to unearth insights from Damian's mind. Despite their endeavors, the police hit a wall, seemingly defenseless against a force that defied tangible understanding. The city's once stalwart guardians faced a daunting truth. Their foe operated in realms beyond conventional logic. In his last days, an uncanny calm enveloped Damian. The once agitated prisoner, haunted by relentless visions, now rested in an almost serene silence, eyes transfixed on the void overhead. This sudden change unnerved the prison staff, who had grown used to his tumultuous demeanor. Rumors of his looming demise spread, casting a shadow of foreboding throughout the prison. On a frigid, moonless evening, Damian's journey reached its end, cementing his enigmatic legacy. Word of his passing resonated swiftly, and with dawn's arrival, a peculiar stillness blanketed New York. The city's incessant rhythm momentarily stilled, streets hushed as if in collective reflection. Though the oppressive shadow seemed to recede, a lingering unease remained. The malevolent force that ensnared Damian, and by proxy the city, eluded understanding, its true nature cloaked in obscurity. As New York slowly emerged from the shadow of Damian's haunting legacy, murmurs of a mysterious newcomer surfaced. In the subdued ambience of speakeasies and whispered alleyway exchanges, stories spread of a figure exuding an eerie elegance, their gaze possessing an otherworldly depth. Encounters with this elusive individual left an indelible impression of being observed, of being truly seen. Speculation ran rampant in the city's darker corners. Could this be the new host for the malevolent entity that had ensnared Damian? Hints about their identity were fragmented and often contradictory. Some alluded to a musician serenading the city with melancholic tunes, while others hinted at an introverted artist whose artworks resonated with a familiar darkness. New York, its wounds still fresh, remained vigilant, sensing that its tryst with the supernatural was not yet concluded. Beneath a low-hanging moon, New York's streets were bathed in elongated, serpentine shadows. Amid the city's subdued nocturnal hum, a lone figure traversed the cobblestones, each step resonating with a mesmerizing cadence. Occasional street lamp glows offered brief glimpses of a face that felt both known yet alien. The city itself seemed attuned to their presence. Lights wavered, distant dogs bayed, and a brisk wind stirred the fallen leaves. Pausing momentarily, the figure seemed to heed an inaudible summons, their gaze capturing the city's vibrant essence. With a smile that bespoke hidden mysteries, they ventured deeper into the city's maze-like alleys. New York, ever vigilant, braced itself, sensing the onset of a familiar shadowy cycle, poised to etch its legacy anew. Ladies and gentlemen, although this story has come to an end, the echoes of its mysteries linger on. As you step back into the realm of the known, I invite you to reflect upon the enigmatic tapestry of events you've just heard. In our vast universe, there are countless phenomena that elude our understanding. Let this tale serve as a reminder that the world around us is filled with wonders and enigmas, and that the line between the tangible and the paranormal is often more permeable than we might think. Keep your minds open, for in the quiet moments of reflection, you might just catch a whisper of the inexplicable, urging you to explore the vast unknown. Until we meet again, may you always be curious, and may the mysteries of the universe continue to intrigue and inspire you.